Good evening to all the exam warriors of grade 12. Why I am calling you exam warriors? Because 12th class exam is something which we must take very seriously, because it is the first step towards our career guidance, towards our career path. This side, Sanjay, the principal of Paramita Heritage School, Premier and Pinnacle Unit, and the principal of Irish World School. I thought to take up this session. The reason is, this is the first batch of CBSE 12th that we are going to produce from Paramita Heritage School. So as the head of the institution, it is my responsibility to guide the children and the teachers at the same time to prepare for the board exam. Though it is not the first time that you are writing the board exam, but you need to be very careful because this is a very important exam in your life. Your exam is starting in the month of February, 3rd week, 2023. So hardly we are having a couple of days in our hand to prepare ourselves. The more I interacted with you in different occasions, I came to know that the preparation is going on smoothly, but things can be better. We can perform a little bit better if we need to pay more attention to few certain areas. So without wasting your time or my time, I am starting the program. Please get a paper and a pen and write down the important points. I also would like to tell you that if you are having any query, you know where to reach me. Either you can write a comment when you are watching the session, or you can reach out to me with your questions and I will be giving you the right answer. At least I will try my level best. So today we are going to talk about CBSE Grade 12 board exam, marking scheme, exam preparation, subject weightage, time management, paper presentation, and most importantly, external assessment. That means the practicals. It is not only for MPC students or BPC students, it is for the commerce students also. So the name of the board exam is CBSE Senior Secondary Examination 2023. The awarding body is Central Board of Secondary Education, CBSE. Mode of exam is offline, happened once in a year. Type of question, MCQ and application-based questions. Total number of subjects generally go for 5, but sometimes or some schools, they offer 6 subjects as well. Maximum marks. Apart from the science subject, majority of the subjects, 80 marks theory and 20 marks practical, project work and internal assessment. For science subjects, the theory marks is 70, and science means maths, physics, chemistry and biology. 70 is the marks for written and 30 marks for project, lab activity, viva and practical record. Total time for the theory exam is given as 3 hours, and you will be given an extra 10 or 15 minutes to read the question paper. Pass marks, 33% each subject and 33% in aggregate. Medium of exam, either in English or in Hindi. In our school, we selected the subject as in English. The division of marks and weightage for board exam 2023. Type of questions. You know that CBSE always go for the competency-based question. Means where the subject knowledge and the skills will be checked, and at the same time, your application towards that skill will also be checked. So these are the competency-based questions, and it will be given as 30 marks. Also, you will be having a based on MCQ question and case studies, source-based integrated questions under the competency-based question. Objective type questions will be given 20% of the weightage. Short answer and long answer will be given 50% as per the existing pattern. In the academic year of 2023, CBSE will be implementing the old exam pattern, means before the pandemic. And as per the revised CBSE 12 exam pattern, it will be only one exam, which is happening. The full marks for every subject is 100, 80, 20 or 70, 30. CBSE assessment scheme details. Only one exam will be conducted under the board of CBSE. Syllabus for the some of the subjects will be reduced by 30%. Already you know that what is your syllabus for this academic year. Teachers might have communicated to you. Efforts will be made to make the internal assessment or project work more credible and valid as per the guidelines and the moderation policy by the board, CBSE board. For annual year 2022-23, it will be conducted in the month of February, I repeat it again, and qualifying parameters. When I was communicating to you people, I came to know that majority of you don't know the qualifying parameters. But CBSE board exam has a very strict policy about the qualifying parameters. The minimum marks in aggregate is 33%. That includes the project, internal assessment, external assessment, practical, lab work, everything. But at the same time, you have to get 33% minimum in each subject. And if your aggregate is above 33%, but in one subject you got less than 33, you have to write the supplementary exam for that particular subject. So please pay a little bit of attention when you are preparing yourself. Number of questions. How many questions? The total number of questions in a subject will be around 25 to 27. It may depend upon the subject or the stream. Nature of questions. The questions will be a mixture of subjective and objective types. Mode of examination. The board exam will be conducted completely offline. Duration exam. The theory examination will be conducted for a duration of 3 hours. I will be talking to you about the external or the internal assessment later. Medium of examination, as I already communicated, that it is English, but in some schools they prefer Hindi. Marking scheme. The question paper will carry 1 mark question, 2 marks, 3 marks and 5 marks questions. Negative marking. Many students ask me whether there is any negative marking when you are attempting the MCQ. No, there is no negative marking for that. So please be assured and do the needful. Important changes in CBSE Class 12 exam patterns 2023. Please remember. As per the new circular, CBSE Class 12 syllabus will not be reduced this year. In the academic year of 2023, there will be around 25 to 27 questions in science subjects. That means physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics. The detailed changes are as follows. Multiple choice question in English language and literature. In English language and literature, there will be multiple choice questions, fill in the blanks, and synonym, antonym for unseen passages. So this is one significant change that you must need to remember. Second one, assertion and reason-based questions in biology. The board has eliminated the multiple choice question from biology and has framed assertion and reason-based questions. There will be around 5 1-mark questions, but it will be more of descriptive nature. Candidates are suggested not to write answers of 1 word from biology subject. So remember one thing, it is clearly mentioned that no 1-word answer for biology, though the marking will be given as 1 mark, but try to be elaborate because This is descriptive type questions coming under the 1 mark evaluation. Now, I will be coming directly to the subject analysis. First, I will be covering the subject for commerce subject, BEA, business studies, accountancy, and economics. Then I will be moving on to science subjects. So my first coverage is economics. Economics will be of 2 different parts. Part 1 is introductory macroeconomics, and part 2 is Indian economic development. Part 1, that means under the introductory macroeconomics, the first will be coming national income and related aggregates. 10 marks will be allotted for that. Money and banking will be having 6 marks. Determination of income and employment, 12 marks. Government budget and the income, 6 marks. Balance of payments, 6 marks. So it is coming total 40. Second part is coming Indian economic development. Development experience 1947 to 1990 and economic reforms since 1991 till date, that is 12 marks. Current challenges facing the Indian economy, 22 marks. Development experience of India, a comparison with neighbors, 6 marks. This is 40 part A, 40 marks for part B, total 80. And now there will be a project. Economics doesn't have any kind of written test during the internal assessment. So your project will be submitted to the external assessor, and based on your project, a viva voce will be conducted. So the people, those who will be coming from different school, based on your project quality, they will be asking you some questions, and you have to give the answer to that. So that is your project work, and 20 marks will be allotted for that. My second slide is marking scheme and weightage, business studies. This also will be having 2 different segments. One is part A, principles and functions of management, nature and significance of management, plus principles of management and business environment. These 3 chapters combined will be given a weightage of 60 marks. Planning and organizing, both these chapters will be giving a score of 14 marks. Staffing, directing, and controlling, these 3 chapters will be given a weightage of 20 marks. Part B, business finance and marketing. Financial management and financial markets, this will be covering 15 marks for your board exam. Marketing management and consumer protection, 15 marks. So first segment is 50, second segment is 30. So 80 marks will be given, and then you have to submit your project book to your external assessor, and the external assessor will be asking you oral questions based on your project. So 100 marks will be covered from 80 written and 20 marks project work. My next slide will be covering the marking scheme accountancy. Accountancy is also having 2 different segments. One is part A. Part A is accounting for partnership firms and companies. Unit 1 will be having accounting for partnership firms, 36 marks. Unit 2, accounting for companies, 24 marks. Part B, financial statement analysis, analysis of a financial statement, 12 marks. Cash flow statement, 8 marks. So this is your 80 marks, and economics also will be having the project work. But economics project work will be a little bit different than others. Please follow the next slide. External assessment and project work for accountancy. Practical work, practical file, project workbook, 4 marks. You have to submit that file to the assessor, and there will be 4 marks to evaluate. Practical examination, 1 hour of 12 marks. So during the external assessment or your practical assessment also, you have to write one exam, that is 1 hour, 12 marks will be given. After that exam is over and based on your practical file, there will be a viva of 4 marks. So 4 plus 12 plus 4 is 80 marks for accountancy. I hope the commerce students, they understood the scheme of marking and also how to write the answer effectively. I will tell you one thing, that whenever the classes are going on, sometimes I visited and I have seen your answer script writing. I will suggest one thing, that as economics, business studies and accountancy, these are subjects related to some technicality and maths associated. So please try to insert the real data to support your answer. Never write one word answer for these 3 subjects, and also validate your answer with the proper data, either sometimes pie chart or bar graph or whatever it is. Your teacher already taught you, so insert that extra thing with your, even if you see that the mark is allotted for 1 or 2 marks, but to get the highest exposure, please try to incorporate as much information as you can. Moving on to the science subject. Commerce students, I will be coming back to you later for the paper presentation. So now I will be coming to maths paper. Very tough for all of you, right? You guys have selected maths and I am thinking that you guys are very good at it. So what is the maths weightage? Maths, there are students can make a note of all the topics included maths along with the weightage for each unit. So I am now telling the units. First one is relations and functions. The marks will be distributed 8. Algebra 10, calculus 35, linear programming 5, vectors and 3-dimensional geometry 14, and probability 8. So you can see the highest marks allotted for one chapter, that is calculus. So if you really want to score very good in maths, try to practice calculus as much as you can. But don't give up the other components also. Maths is a very scoring subject, and if you do it properly, you will be having the chance to get 80 out of 80 during the written exam. Class 12 Maths Question Paper Pattern 2023. CBSE Class 12 Maths Question Paper consists of 5 sections, A, B, C, D, and E. It is mandatory to attempt all the questions, all the sections. There is no alternative. The marking scheme of CBSE Class 12, according to the questions and section, is also given below, as students can practice accordingly. Section A contains 20 multiple choice questions, and each question carries 1 mark. Section B contains 5 very short answer questions, and each question carries 2 marks. Section C contains 6 short answer questions, and each question carry 3 marks. Section D contains 4 long answer questions, and each question carries 5 marks. Section E contains 3 case studies, passage-based questions, and each question contains 4 marks. So this is mathematics. Moving on to the next slide, which is physics. Knowing the weightage of topics helps students prepare for exam in a very planned and strategic way. The chapter-wise marking scheme of CBSE Class 12 Physics is tabulated below. The first one is Electrostatics, Unit 1. Chapter 1, there are segments, electric charges and fields. Chapter 2, electrostatic potential and capacitance. Current electricity, Chapter 3, current electricity. Magnetic effects of current and magnetism, and electromagnetic functions and alternating currents, electromagnetic waves and optics. The marks division for this Unit 1 and Unit 2 is 16 marks, Unit 3 and Unit 4 is 17 marks, Unit 5 and Unit 6 is 18 marks. Unit 7, Dual Nature of Radiation and Matter, Chapter 11, Dual Nature of Radiation and Matter, 12, and Dual Nature of Radiation and Matter at Unit 8, Atoms and Nuclei, that is 12, Chapter 12, Atoms, Chapter 13, Nuclei, Unit 9, Electronic Devices, Chapter 4, and this is how the 70 marks will be coming to you. I want you to follow the page that is on display on the screen right now. I am not a physics or science teachers or experts, but I am trying my level best to support you people. So please, if there is anything that you need to write down directly from the screen. I am giving a little bit of time for you people, or you guys can ask me to share this presentation later with you. So with your permission, I am moving on to the second slide, which is biology. All the topics included in CBSE Class 12 Biology have been mentioned below for students' reference. The marks distribution for each topic is also mentioned. The first chapter is reproduction, 16 marks is given. Genetics and evolution, 20 marks is given. Biology and human welfare, 12 marks. Biotechnology and its applications, 12 marks. Ecology and environment, 10 marks. So this is total 70 marks. Now the question paper design. All questions are compulsory. Remember that all questions are compulsory. The question paper has 5 sections. Section A, Section B, Section C, Senior, Section D, and Section E. There are 33 questions in the question paper. Section A has 16 questions and each question will carry 1 mark. Section B has 5 questions, each question will carry 2 marks. Section C has 7 questions and each question carries 3 marks. Section D has 2 case-based questions and each question carries 4 marks. Section E has 3 questions and each question carries 5 marks. So this is biology. Maybe you are thinking that I am not covering the internal assessment or the external assessment. After finishing the subject weightage, then I will come separately for that. CBSE Physics, I forgot to mention in there, so I am coming here to discuss CBSE Physics question paper pattern. The question paper contains a total of 5 sections, A, B, C, D, and E. All the sections are to be attempted mandatorily. There are a total of 35 questions in physics. Section A contains 18 multiple choice questions and each question carries 1 mark. Section B contains 7 questions and each question carries 2 marks. Section C contains 5 questions and each question carries 3 marks. Section D contains 3 long answer questions and each question carries 5 marks. Section E contains 2 case-based questions and each question carries 4 marks. I am coming to chemistry weightage. All the topic of the chemistry class 12 can be noted down by the students from the below mentioned table. It is actually guided by CBSE that you must need to note down. The weightage for each topic of chemistry has also been mentioned. First one is solution, marks distribution 7. Electrochemistry 9. Chemical kinetics 7. D and F block elements 7. Coordination compounds 7. Halogenous and haloaromases is 6. And the other one is alcohols, phenols, and ethers 6. The next one is aldehydes, ketones, and carboxylic acid 8, and amines 6, biomolecules 7. So this is coming total 70 marks for your chemistry paper. Now, the paper distribution, the marks distribution. Section A contains 18 multiple choice questions and each question will carry 1 mark. Section B contains 7 very short answer questions. Each question carries 2 marks. Section C contains 5 short answer questions and each question carries 3 marks. Section D contains 2 case-based questions and each question carries 4 marks. Section E contains 3 long answers questions and each question carries 5 marks. Coming next to the English, very, very important for all of you. CBSE Class 12 English Weightage and Pattern 2022-23. English Section A, it will be covering reading skills out of 20 marks. Reading comprehension through unseen passage, 20 marks. 1 unseen passage to assess comprehension, interpretation and inference, 10 into 1, 10 marks. 1 unseen case-based passage with verbal, visual inputs like statistical data, charts, etc. will be carrying 10 into 1, 10 marks. So total of 20 marks from the reading skills. Second section, section B, is coming creative writing skills, that is also of 20 marks. The section has short and long writing tasks. Notice up to 50 words and 1 out of the 2 given questions is to be answered. So you guys will be having 2 options, 1 you must need to attempt. Formal or informal invitation and ready up to 50 and reply up to 50 words. So an invitation you have to prepare with the reply 50 words. Letters based on verbal visual input are to be answered in approximately 120 to 150 words. Article, report writing, descriptive and analytical in nature based in verbal inputs to be answered in 120 or 150 words. So these are the 4 areas that you need to cover to get the 20 marks. Section C. This section will have a variety of assessment items including multiple choice questions, objective type questions, short answer type questions and long answer type questions. Reference to the context, it will be 40 marks and 1 poetry extracts out of 2 from the book Flamingo. 6 into 1, 6 marks. 1 prose extract out of 2 from the book Vistas, 4 into 1, 4 marks. 1 prose extract out of 2 from the book Flamingo, 6 into 1, 6 marks. Short answer type questions from prose and poetry from the book Flamingo to be answered in 40 to 50 words. Question should not elicit inferential responses through critical thinking. 5 questions out of the 6 given are to be answered. Marks 2 each for 5, so 10 marks. Short answer type questions from prose vistas to be answered in 40 to 50 words. Each question will be carrying 2 marks and 2 questions you have to answer, so 2 into 2, 4 marks. 1 long answer type question from prose or poetry from Flamingo to be answered in 120 to 150 words. 1 question you have to answer, 5 marks. So 1 into 5, 5 marks. Last is 1 long answer type question based on the chapters from the book Vistas to be answered in 120 and 150 words. 1 you have to answer, 5 marks. So this is your total marks allocation for English. English, I will be covering the internal assessment in here itself. English internal assessment is assessment of listening skills, assessment of speaking skills, which we called as ASL, which we already completed in our campus. Both speaking and listening will be carrying 5 marks for both segments, so 10 marks. And another 10 marks will be given for you through the project work that you submitted. Either it can be podcast, portfolio, or various activities that you have done throughout the year, like flyers, posters, replies, invitations, notice, all these things can be included in your project work. CBSE Class 2 paper pattern. This is a general one. CBSE Class 12 paper pattern for physics, chemistry, and biology will be the similar. The marks will be divided for assessments, practicals, and written exams. 30 marks will be assigned for assessment and practical, and the remaining 70 marks will be assigned for the written exam. Check the details below very thoroughly. Again, duration of exam 3 hours, marks allotted for practical 30 marks, marks allotted for theory 70 marks, very short answer type questions 5 questions, this is science. Short answer questions 5 questions, long answer questions 3 marks each 12 questions, long answer questions 4 marks each 1 question, long answer 5 marks each 3 questions. I guess that you guys are writing the main points that you want to focus on. I am moving on to the next slide. Guidelines for the practical exam biology. This one is very, very important, and I want all of you to make a note of it. When the biology examiners will come from different schools as an external assessor, you have to perform one major experiment in front of them that will carry 5 marks. One minor experiment that will be carrying 4 marks. Slide preparation 5 marks, spotting 7 marks, practical record book. Throughout the year, whenever you went to the lab and conducted the lab activity, you must have prepared your lab record book. So this is the one that I am referring to when I am saying practical record. And Viva. So based on the lab activity record book, you will be asked few questions and the marks will be allotted 4 marks. Project record and Viva 5 marks. Practical record book and project record is not the same. Practical record book is something that you use for the whole year when you go to the lab, that is similar to lab activity or lab record book. Project record is which project your teacher has assigned you for the academic year of 2022-23. So total 30 marks, 5, 4, 5, 7, 4, and 5. So please be a little bit more careful when the lab activity or the lab experiment is happening. Moving on to the next slide, physics. Guidelines for practical physics. 2 experiment, 1 from each section. In physics, you will be having 2 sections, which your teacher must have told you. So each section will be carrying 7 plus 7, 14 marks for experiments, which you need to conduct in front of your external assessor and internal assessor and the observer in your lab. Practical record experiment and activities 5 marks. I already communicated that practical record means the lab record book. Whenever you went for some lab record or lab activity, you must have written your lab record. So I am referring that. 1 activity from any sections, that is your choice, will be given 3 marks. An investigatory project, that is 3 marks. Viva on experiments, activities, and project 5 marks. So this is total 30 marks. Some schools, what they do is they conduct small written tests based on this. And instead of many experiments, because in some schools the number of the children are really way too many, and within 1 or 2 days the lab or the external assessment cannot be performed. So in some cases they go for pre-prepared schedule of test, written test, which will be given to and guided to you. In your case, you will be already getting the notification that whether you will be going for that assessment test. And after the assessment test is done, still you have to perform 1 or 2 activities or experiments in front of the external assessors. So this is physics. Now I am moving on to Chemistry. Guidelines for chemistry practical exam. This is volumetric analysis, 8 marks, salt analysis, 8 marks, content-based experiment, 6 marks, project work, 4 marks, class record and viva, 4 marks. So 8 plus 8 plus 6 plus 4 plus 4 is 30 marks. Here, in chemistry also it is the same thing, that you might be asked to go for a small multiple choice question answer test or a very short answer or a little bit elaborative answer based question answer writing during the practical assessment or the external assessment. So it will be a combination of both a written test and some SALT analysis or some activities in front of the assessors. You will be pre-notified before we start the assessment. Now moving on to the next page. This is very important, I want to follow. You know, when being an assessor or moderator or a CBSE observer, I have seen that when children are writing the answer script, sometimes they don't pay enough attention for the presentation part, and we lose marks because of the presentation is very, very poor in some cases. So my suggestion for you people to be careful when you are writing the answer script. My first suggestion is try to write the answer which you know really better. Always start with a very positive answer that will create an impression on the examiners, and also try to end your exam or the exam writing with an answer which you know better. So first and last, these two you must need to pay a little bit extra attention when you are preparing for your answer script presentation. Underline each heading or subheading involved in the answer. So if you are segregating the answer in paragraphs, write down the heading or the subheading. And for science subject, please always try to use the technical term or the technological term or the keywords when you are writing the answers. Draw a 2-inch border on the right side of the page of your answer sheet where you can do your rough work. In science subject, you might be needing the rough work. In accountancy also, in economics also, you might be needing the rough work. So instead of the last page, generally you select for the rough work, please draw a margin on the right side of your answer script. Next to the answer that you are writing, please next to it complete the rough work. So the evaluator or the assessors will be matching with the answer and the rough work. Increase the pictographic content wherever possible by including as many diagrams, tables and charts, etc. as possible. It will help to make your knowledge more noticeable and visible than writing it in the form of long paragraphs. Generally, science, we don't go for the long paragraphs. We rather give them the data or the input or the correct answer or the analysis or the equation to give them the proper justification of what you are saying. But when it comes to literature part or the commerce subjects, try to incorporate charts and different kind of parameters of presentation while writing it. Instead of long paragraph, insert flowchart, mind maps, all these things in your answer script. It will give an extra edge when the examiner will evaluate your paper. Try to write most of the answer in points or bullets with properly highlighted headers and subheaders. Make the important points highlighted or underlined. As I said, that identifying the keyword and presenting the keywords in front of the examiner is very, very important to try to focus on that. Whenever you need to, sometimes we make mistakes, right? When you are writing something. So whenever you think that your answer, the one you have written just now, is not correct or you need to change it, don't scribble over it. Just write a draw line or an underline or a cut mark on the answer properly in one single line. Don't scribble, don't use any whitener at all. Just draw a line with your pen over the particular text or word you want to avoid. Avoid scribbling or scratching, as it will make your answer sheet look messy and unlean. So please don't go for that. Do not forget to write the question number against each answer properly. Sometimes we just write the answer by seeing. If we are very good preparation mode, we just write the answer. Sometimes we forget to write the question number next to it. So please don't do that, because evaluator will be having difficulties to evaluate your paper. And it should be clearly visible. Write each answer with properly spaced words that are neither too close or too far. Sometimes the children, when they write the answers, they write the answers in a very speedy manner. So when they do that, sometimes the gap in between two words getting increased, or sometimes it get decreased also. So please don't do that. You need to follow one strategy for each answer when you are writing. So the lettering or the wording should be properly maintained. Moving on to the next slide. I want to talk about time management in here. There is an issue with many of the children. After they come out from the exam hall, they always say, didn't have enough time to complete. Oh, the question paper was so lengthy that we didn't have enough time to complete. But trust me, when the moderators are selecting the question papers, they pay enough attention whether that questions will be covered within 3 hours or not. So it has already been testified. So what you need to do is, you need to have a proper time management practice. Keep a watch next to you when you are writing the answer. This is the preparation mode I am talking about. I think now you are in preparation mode. So when you are preparing yourself for CBSE board exam 2023, always, if you are following a previous year question paper, keep the question next to you, keep a watch next to you, the answer script in the middle. And when you are writing, before writing, please calculate a mind distribution for each answer. I told you that 3 hours will be the written exam, but 15 minutes you will be getting for the question paper to read and understand. During that time, you have to understand, or you have to decide which question you will be giving more priority by knowing the answer. So distribute your time frame within that note that the answer you know really, really well. And try practicing at home as much as you can with the watch. If you think first what you need to do, your exam is 3 hours. First you need to set an alarm 2 hours 30 minutes or 2 hours 40 minutes, 20 minutes lesser than that. Then slowly increase the time for that. So when the exam is coming, you will be able to see that instead of 3 hours, within 2 hours 50 minutes, you can complete the total writing with your proper given answers, and 10 minutes still it will be in your hand to read the answer or to recheck the answer. So this is all about time management, which you must need to focus on. Please mention the hall ticket number. We have an admit card or hall ticket, whatever you say, there is a unique ID and the student ID number is mentioned. Sometimes, not sometimes, majority of the times, we only write it down on the front page when the answer script will be given, which is called answer booklet. But if you write the unique ID on top of the page, on every single page, initial name of yours and then the unique ID, it will be better for you. So this is a suggestion that I want to give, that please mention your hall ticket number on top of each page of your answer script. Also, on the first page, you need to write down how many total pages you have used for your answer script. If there is a paper for answer script for 32 pages and you are writing only 28 pages, you need to write down 28. Or in case of additional that you are adding on to your answer script, you need to write down how many additionals did you get. And on top of the additional, you will be seeing that there is a number that is given. So that is your additional paper number. Please write that additional paper number on the front page itself. So if 28 plus 32 plus another 4, write down 32 main pages 4 additionals and then write the number of the additional pages. If you do that, there will be no chance of any answer script will be lost or anything. You will be getting evaluated based on total answer script. Second suggestion that I would like to give, textbook reading. Generally, we are having a tendency that we read the substance, we try to understand the content of the total chapter. Nowadays, in the market, there are many suggestion books, question banks are available with all the ready-made answer given. If you are an evaluator or if you are an assessor and you are having 40 answer script in front of you, all students follow the same book or same answer book or question bank, memorize all the answers and wrote, will you be giving them different marks or will you be giving them each of them same marks because the answers are the same? So the originality, and originality only will come when you read the textbook. So for language, I will recommend 100% textbook. Science also I will recommend the textbook. Commerce subjects also I will recommend the textbook to be read during your preparation time. And also write down the key understanding on a daily basis when you read the textbook. Please pay more attention on competency-based questions. I don't want to scare you away, but competency-based questions are the questions which are open-ended. So you need to think analytically, you need to apply them properly in the real-life situation, the way it will be asked, and you need to give a justification by giving them an understanding of your skills development or knowledge development. So competency-based questions, 30% will be coming for your answer. You need to pay a little bit more attention for that. Clear your doubts and understand of concept during the revision. When the revision classes are going on, please ask your teacher to clarify your doubt if you are having any. Make a point of it, make a note of it, and get it clarified. Writing practice is very important at this point of time. 12 plus children, I think they don't go for that one, but I have seen children, when we are asking them to study, they just open the textbook and sit for a longer period of time. And in few cases, we have seen that they don't even turn the pages. So it gives us an impression, the book is open, study is going on, the mind is not on the same page where the child should be focusing. So my suggestion for you people is not only reading, when we are asking you to study, that means reading and writing together. So please write and focus. It will carry more weightage during the evaluation if you highlight the key words in your answer script. So this is few main areas that I wanted to talk about. I came to the conclusion of this session, but one last thing that I want to tell, when you are writing your answer in the theory exam, try to use only one pen. Either it is black or blue. Don't change the color of the ink while you are writing the exam. If you are changing by any chance, for an example, if you don't have a black pen or if you are running out of pen, then you can use the second color of the ink, but in that case, ask the invigilator who is there in your room to put a sign when you are changing. Like answer A, answer 11A. You completed until here with the blue pen. 11A, 11B, you want to start with another ink color. So ask the invigilator to put a signature on top of 11B, then you start changing the color of the ink. Sometimes it doesn't get evaluated if frequently you change the color of the pen when you are writing the answer. So I hope that my session will give you a complete inner insight of the exam, theory and both practical. Don't get scared. As you are the first time 12 class exam writing, I am also giving you guys the suggestion for the first time so that both of us can be on the same page while we are preparing each other. So trust me, your exam will be as smooth as possible if you pay more attention. We are not asking you to study a long hours for a day or each day, but if it is planned strategically and if it matches with the reading and writing on a daily basis, lab activities that are recommended, analytical question answer writing as recommended, you will be getting the full marks in each and every subject. So on that note, I, Sanjay Bhattacharjee, your head of the institution, is signing off from this session, wishing you all a very, very productive board exam 2023. Thank you. Finished?